Our entire lives, we've been taught that intelligence equals success, and in traditional academia, they're going to tell us that in order for us to succeed, we have to go to college. You know, that same traditional academia, it's going to teach you that going tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars into student loan debt it's a fair trade, because in the end it'll guarantee us success. Let me be clear here. I'm not here to bash people, you know, with degrees or whatever, because a degree, it can be an extremely useful and important tool. It can open up doors for opportunities, and it can help you in the long run. But here's the thing about having a degree is it seems like, you know, traditional academia, in society as a whole, it teaches us that if we go to school and we get that degree, then it's automatically going to make us more intelligent or even more successful, and that it simply is not true. It puts you on a pedestal as if you're guaranteed that it's going to make you more capable, smarter, and ultimately more successful. Welcome back to another episode of Sweat Talk. My name is Chad, and today I want to ask you a question. Who's smarter? An accountant that can't change his oil, or a mechanic that can't do his own taxes? So on the surface, you might say the accountant, because, you know, they have that degree, and traditionally they're probably going to make more money, but intelligence is actually subjective. So I say that because, you know, the mechanic is every bit as valuable as the accountant is, right? They both solve unique problems that the others can't handle, but they both still bring, you know, something unique and necessary to the table. The difference is not intelligence. It's how they think and what it is that they do with that knowledge that they have. If we compare the accountant and the mechanic, you know, society is going to tell us that the accountant is more successful, because traditionally they are going to earn a higher wage, but is that really being more successful? The accountant is most likely saddled with tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, working some 9 to 5, living in cubicle hell every single day, and you know, just following an extremely predictable path. While that mechanic, they probably don't have a degree. They might have a certificate or have been through some sort of certificate program, but they're more likely to think outside of the box. You know, and that mechanic, they're going to be more likely to take risks. They're going to be more likely to have some sort of a side hustle, and eventually they're also going to be more likely to start their own business. And in fact, I don't know a single mechanic that doesn't have some sort of a side hustle. And I've known a lot of mechanics in my life. But on the flip side, I've known several accountants in my life, and most of them, they settle into one single job, and that's where they stay. So, you know, we can ask ourselves, why is that? You know, and I think a lot of it has to do with the way that traditional academia teaches us, and ultimately it ends up in our mindset. You know, the smart people, right? The ones with the degrees that go through traditional academia and the education system, they're trained and they're programmed to always follow the rules. You know, they're always taught to play it safe and continuously analyze everything and avoid taking risks at all costs. But I'm here to tell you that success, it doesn't come from playing it safe. That success that most of us dream of, you know, it's going to come from taking risks and learning from mistakes. So with that, here's something else to consider, and that is having a fear of failure. So with that, you know, somebody who's labeled as smart their entire lives, they're going to see failure more as a personal attack. You know, they're told that when because they have the degree, then they're smarter, they're more capable, and when they do fail, then it feels like their entire world is just simply crumbling around them. And because of that fear, then they're going to avoid taking risks altogether because of that fear of failure. But you know, failure, it's not the enemy. You know, ultimately failure, it is the foundation of success. And, you know, if you look at every single person that has been successful throughout their lives, or that we see is successful currently, you know, those people, they failed more times than they can count, and they've definitely failed more times than they've succeeded. And then those successful people, they didn't let that failure define them, and instead they used it as a lesson to learn from. Because failure, it teaches you a valuable lesson, and it teaches you how to be resilient. And in my opinion, resilience, it's far more important than traditional education or intelligence. And then I also believe that when you go that route, when you get that degree and you do the same thing for decades, and you follow that steady job for years, and you settle down in it, then a lot of times it's going to make you replaceable. And I say that because, say for every single accountant that has that degree, there's going to be thousands of them that are right behind. And ultimately, there's really not much unique about it. It's being able to be good with numbers, in the way that your mind functions. But I believe that a good mechanic, they're not as replaceable, because they've developed a skill that oftentimes is more difficult to replace, because they've built a mindset of adaptability and problem solving. They don't have a certain set of rules and structure that they follow all the time. But then more importantly, I believe that they've developed a mindset that encourages taking risk and adaptability and resilience. But then the accountant, on the other hand, they're going to be more likely to get stuck inside of a system where they're nothing more than just another number. And I understand that this isn't like, I'm not here bashing accountants, right? I'm just using them for an example. And same thing with other people that hold degrees. I'm not trying to bash people with a degree. It's just an observation that I've made over the course of my life of how the system is designed. But success, it does not come from being a part of that system, right? How many times have you heard somebody say that the system is designed to hold you back, or the system is designed to hold you down? I hear it all the time, and I believe it's true. But if you know that the system is designed to hold you back, if you understand that, then it's going to be a whole hell of a lot easier for you to break free from it. So then think about this one. Have you ever heard of a concept that's called unique advantage, right? It's an advantage that we're naturally good at. It's an advantage that makes our creativity and us as individuals unique and useful. It might not be what traditional education puts value on, and on paper it might not even look all that impressive. But the thing is it's there. And so to break this down a little bit more, let's take a look at runners, for example, right? We have runners that are marathon runners, and then we also have sprinters. A sprinter, they're built for explosiveness and power for short distances and for short durations of time. But then a marathon runner, they're going to be built for endurance, right? They're going to be able to go the distance without burning out. So each one of those runners, they have their own unfair advantage. So then if we look at that, then it's clear to see that a sprinter, if he tries to run a marathon, he's going to burn out and lose. But then if a marathon runner tries to sprint, same thing. He's not going to do very well, and he's going to lose. So it's not about being good at everything. It's about learning what your unfair advantage is and leaning into it. So the same thing applies to success, right? You have an unfair advantage, and you have that unfair advantage at your disposal as long as you know what that unfair advantage is. And that unfair advantage, it could be simple stuff, right? Like that you don't realize. It could be maybe you're more creative, or maybe you're more resilient, or maybe you're really good at communication. But ultimately, whatever it is, that is going to be your key to success. But that unfair advantage that you possess, that we all possess, it's completely worthless if we don't utilize it. So ultimately, I believe that the reason that the smart people, whatever that means, are unsuccessful is because traditional academia has taught them to ignore their unfair advantage and instead to follow a path that was designed by somebody else. Because that traditional academia they're going to teach you to follow the rules and always avoid risk at all costs. And then success, it's not going to come from intelligence alone, right? You have to have experience, and you have to learn, and you have to fail. Just because you're a good accountant or just because you're a good mechanic, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a good business owner if you do open your own business. But because somebody who's traditionally smart, since their analytical mind is going to teach them to avoid those risks, then they're going to avoid taking action. And success is going to come from action. So, if you have that degree, you use that shit as a tool, but don't let it define your worth, right? But then if you don't have a degree, understand that's not what's limiting you, because your value is not determined by what's written on a piece of paper. I believe the value that you are going to be able to provide to society is going to be based more on your ability to take action, to adapt to circumstances and build something meaningful. I guess in the end, what I'm trying to say is stop trying to be the smartest person in the room and stop trying to chase perfection, but instead figure out what it is that makes you different, and then just lean into that shit, man. Because success is not about how smart you are. It's your ability to take action. The world doesn't need more smart people. I think the world needs more people that are willing to take risks, to utilize their personal creativity and build things that are more meaningful. Going out there and building something that is extraordinary, right? And that's how you're going to become successful. So if you made it this far, do me a favor and go down in the comments section and write that word success. Just that one word, success. Because like I said earlier, intelligence is subjective. All of us are intelligent in our own ways. And just because somebody's better at writing or another person is better at speaking, that doesn't mean that they are more intelligent than us. Just like defining success, your definition of success is going to be different from my definition of success. And I believe that intelligence is the same way. But I also believe that the system has brainwashed us over our entire lives to believe that in order to be successful, or in order to feel competent or feel good about ourselves, then we have to have traditional intelligence, and we have to have a solid, high quality traditional education. Just because I'm not as good at debating or arguing with somebody as you are, that does not make me less intelligent. It may mean that I am less intelligent in that field or in that area of expertise, which, if we think about it in the right way, our success and our intelligence is going to be defined by us and not somebody else, and not somebody else's path or by traditional academia. Intelligence is subjective. Success is subjective. Rich, wealthy, those are all subjective. They're all defined by us and the path that we choose to go down. And I firmly believe that we can all achieve success. We just have to utilize our own unfair advantage. And we have to understand and change our mind to think successful and to be successful and to experience success in our own definition. But it all starts with our mindset. It all starts with how we think and how we talk and how we behave with ourselves. And so I ask for these one-word comments because they do a couple of things. First and foremost, the most important is they help us reprogram our subconscious mind, because when we see and feel and experience something over and over and over again, like, when you go in and read the comment sections of my videos, you're going to see these powerful words, and you're going to see the shift in the mindset of the people that are finding value in this content, the people that have the ability to stick around to the end, because our words are far more powerful than we give them credit for. And I don't feel that it's ever talked about enough. But then when we look in the comments section at other videos and we see the power words that are put in there, then it's going to help us reprogram our subconscious mind in an extremely positive way. It's going to help us build or find that value that we have already inside of ourselves. And then another thing that it does is it helps the channel grow. Because every time somebody leaves a like and comments and subscribes, then the algorithm sees that and it's going to be more likely to push it out to other people that might find value in it as well. So if you want to help out in another way, check out our online store. There will be a link in the description. Go check out the some sweet Sweat Talk swag and the supplement line that we just came up with, self-made supplements. It's good stuff. We've got big plans for that one in the future. Go pick up a good pre-workout, a nootropic to get your mind focused and your blood pumping through your veins, and then pick up a protein shake to help with that muscle recovery after your workout. It's good stuff, man. Really, really good stuff. So that's all I got for today, guys. I want to thank you guys for those super thanks that you keep giving me. It truly means the world to me, and it blows me away, all the generosity that you guys are demonstrating and giving me, my family, and this channel. It truly means the world to me. So I want to thank you guys for showing up. I hope you guys are showing up for yourselves, and I hope that each and every one of you has a wonderful day. Peace.